The diamond earrings sat on the kitchen counter like tiny accusations, catching the early morning light. Next to them, a handwritten note on cream-colored paper. 3 simple sentences that would shatter everything. Derek Morrison's hands were still shaking as he read the words for the 3rd time. I know everything. The earrings are yours now. She left them in your car. Don't look for me. If you're enjoying this story so far, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from. It really helps the channel grow, and I love hearing from you all. Derek's throat tightened. His wife's handwriting was steady, controlled. No tears had smudged the ink. That's what terrified him most, the calmness of it. Claire had known. She'd found the earrings, and instead of confronting him, she'd simply left. He grabbed his phone with fumbling fingers, 7 missed calls to her number, each one going straight to voicemail. Her voice on the recording, warm, familiar, felt like a ghost now. Hi, you've reached Claire. Leave me a message and I'll get back to you. Except she wouldn't, not this time. The apartment felt wrong, too quiet. Claire's coffee mug still sat in the dish rack from yesterday morning. Her favorite throw blanket was folded neatly on the couch, but her purse was gone, her laptop, the small weekender bag she kept in the closet. Derek sank onto the bar stool, the note crumpling slightly in his fist. How long had she known? Days? Weeks? He replayed the last few days in his mind, searching for signs he'd missed. Had she been different at breakfast yesterday? Had there been something in her eyes when she kissed him goodbye? God, she'd kissed him goodbye. His phone buzzed. For a split second, hope flared, but it was just a text from Marcus at work asking about this morning's presentation. Derek stared at the message, unable to process it. Presentation, right. He had a meeting at 9, the Anderson merger, numbers and projections that suddenly felt meaningless. The earrings glinted mockingly, small, understated diamonds, not Claire's style at all. She preferred simple studs, nothing flashy. These belonged to Vanessa, his colleague, his mistake, his betrayal that had started 6 months ago at a company conference in Boston. It was supposed to be nothing. That's what he told himself every single time. Just physical, just stress relief from a marriage that had grown comfortable, predictable. Claire with her interior design projects and book club meetings, their conversations had become routine. When did you become so boring? He thought cruelly one night watching her fall asleep reading. But standing here now in the hollow silence of their home, Derek realized boring meant safe, predictable meant trustworthy, and comfortable meant loved. He called her sister, Emma. The phone rang 4 times before she picked up. Emma, is Claire with you? A pause. Too long. No, Derek. Emma, please, I just need to know she's okay. I need to talk to her. She doesn't want to talk to you. And honestly, I don't blame her. You told her? She didn't have to tell me much. The earrings kind of spoke for themselves, don't you think? The contempt in her voice cut deep. Do you have any idea what you've done? I made a mistake, I know that. I need to explain. Explain what exactly? That you've been sleeping with someone else while your wife waited for you at home every night? While she defended you to her friends when you missed dinners because of late meetings? Emma's laugh was bitter. She trusted you completely, Derek. That's the worst part. She never suspected a thing until she found those earrings in your car 3 days ago. 3 days. Claire had known for 3 days and hadn't said a word. Derek's stomach twisted violently.
Where is she? Somewhere you can't find her. And before you even think about it, don't show up at my house, don't show up at her office, don't call her friends. She needs space, and for once in your selfish life, you're going to give it to her. The line went dead. Derek stood there, phone pressed to his ear long after the dial tone faded. 3 days! She'd made him breakfast 3 days ago. Sunny-side-up eggs the way he liked them. She'd laughed at something he said about the neighbor's dog. She'd been planning her escape while buttering his toast. His phone rang again. This time it was Vanessa. Derek, where are you? The meeting starts in 20 minutes and... Not now, Vanessa. What? Derek, this is important. The Anderson team is already... I said not now. His voice came out sharper than he intended. He took a breath. Claire left me. Silence on the other end. Then quieter. She found out? The earrings. You left your earrings in my car. Oh my God, Derek, I'm so sorry. I must have taken them off when we... Yeah, he cut her off, unable to hear the rest, unable to picture that night 2 weeks ago, parked in the garage of her apartment building like teenagers, the same car he and Claire had picked out together last year, the car where she'd kissed him silly when he surprised her with it for her birthday. What are you going to do? Vanessa asked. What was he going to do? He looked around the apartment again. Claire's design book stacked on the shelf, the throw pillow she'd agonized over for weeks until finding the perfect shade of blue, the gallery wall of photos, their wedding, vacations, lazy Sunday mornings. Every corner of this place had her fingerprints on it. I'm going to fix this, he said, though he had no idea how. Derek, maybe you should just let her... I have to go. He ended the call. He moved through the apartment like a detective, looking for more clues. Her closet was half empty. Practical things were gone: jeans, sweaters, comfortable shoes. She'd left the dresses, the heels, the things she wore when they went out together, like she was shedding a skin she didn't need anymore. In the bathroom, her toothbrush was missing, but her expensive face cream was still there, half used. Her perfume he'd bought her for Christmas sat untouched on the counter. She'd taken what she needed and left behind everything that reminded her of them. Derek's reflection in the bathroom mirror looked like a stranger. When had he become this person? The kind of man who destroyed something good because he was bored, because he could? His phone buzzed with another text, this time from his boss. Where are you? Anderson team is waiting. Derek typed back, family emergency, can't make it. The reply came instantly. This better be serious, Morrison. We can't afford to lose this deal. He almost laughed. Can't afford to lose this deal. He'd lost something far more valuable, and he'd been too stupid to realize it until it was gone. So if you're still watching, drop a like on this video if you're invested in what happens next, and stay tuned because this story is just getting started. Derek stood in the middle of their bedroom, Claire's jewelry box open in his hands. Most of her everyday pieces were gone. The simple necklace she wore constantly, her grandmother's ring, the bracelet he'd given her on their second anniversary. But the expensive stuff, the things he'd bought to impress her, remained, like she was making a point. His phone rang again, another unknown number. He answered it desperately. Claire? Mr. Morrison, this is Jennifer Chen from Riverside Design Studio. I'm calling about Claire's resignation. The words hit him like cold water. Her what? She submitted her resignation yesterday via email. I wanted to confirm the details of her final projects before...
Wait, yesterday? She quit yesterday? A pause. Yes, sir. Is there a problem? She seemed quite certain about her decision. Derek's mind raced. Claire loved that job. She'd worked there for 5 years, built her reputation, had clients who requested her specifically. Did she say why? She mentioned needing a change, a fresh start. Jennifer's tone shifted slightly, more cautious. Mr. Morrison, is everything all right? No, nothing's all right. He hung up. She'd quit her job, packed her things, disappeared. This wasn't just anger. This was planning, precision. Claire had orchestrated an exit strategy while smiling at him over dinner, while sleeping next to him, while living a complete lie. But wasn't that exactly what he'd done to her for 6 months? Derek called Claire's best friend, Rachel. She picked up on the first ring. You've got some nerve calling me, Rachel said flatly. Rachel, please. I know you hate me right now, but I need to know if she's safe. She's safer than she's been in months, Derek, away from you. I need to talk to her. I need to explain. Explain what? Rachel's voice rose. Do you know what she did 3 days ago when she found those earrings? She called me at midnight crying so hard she could barely breathe. She kept saying, I'm not enough. I'm not enough for him. Do you understand that? She blamed herself for your cheating. Derek felt sick. Rachel,
She spent 6 years making herself smaller, quieter, more convenient for you. You know what she told me last month? She said she stopped talking about her day because you seemed bored. She stopped cooking the food she loved because you complained they were too complicated. She became whatever she thought you wanted, and you still went looking somewhere else. That's not fair. She never said she was unhappy because you never asked. When's the last time you asked about her dreams, Derek, her projects, her life outside of being your wife? She got promoted to senior designer 4 months ago. Did you even know that? The silence stretched. He hadn't known. God help him, he hadn't known. That's what I thought, Rachel said quietly. She stopped telling you things because you stopped listening years ago. The affair was just the final proof of what she already knew. She disappeared in her own marriage. Where is she? Somewhere you'll never think to look. And before you try to track her phone or credit cards, don't bother. She's thought of everything. Rachel's voice softened slightly. Derek, the best thing you can do for her now is let her go. She needs to remember who she was before she spent years trying to be enough for someone who couldn't see her value. The call ended. Derek sat on the edge of their bed, Rachel's words echoing. 4 months ago. Claire had gotten promoted 4 months ago, and he had no idea. What else had he missed? He looked around the bedroom with new eyes, seeing evidence of a wife he'd stopped paying attention to. The stack of design magazines on her nightstand, bookmarked with sticky notes. A half-finished sketchbook on her desk in the corner. He thought it was just doodling. He opened it now, seeing detailed room layouts, color palettes, fabric swatches, professional work, beautiful work. There was a calendar, too, tucked in her desk drawer. Claire's handwriting filled it, client meetings, site visits, presentations, and in the margins, little notes to herself. Remember to pick up Derek's dry cleaning. Derek's boss coming for dinner, make the roast he likes. Derek's birthday, plan something special. His own calendar, he realized with shame, had never included her, not once. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Stop calling her friends. You're only making this harder. See. Derek's heart jumped. He typed back immediately. Claire, please, just tell me where you are. Let me apologize in person. The response came quickly. You had 6 months to apologize. You chose not to. I didn't know you knew.
I'm not talking about the affair, Derek. I'm talking about everything else. Every time you chose your phone over conversation with me, every dinner you missed, every time I tried to share something that mattered to me and you changed the subject. The affair was just the clearest evidence of a problem that started years ago. Derek stared at the screen, fingers hovering over the keyboard. What could he say? She was right. I love you, he typed. 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, appeared again, finally. You love the idea of me, the version who asked for nothing and gave you everything. I'm done being that person. Then tell me who you want to be. I'll change. We can fix this. I don't want you to change for me, Derek. I wanted you to care about me enough to notice I was disappearing. There's a difference. Claire, please. I'm blocking this number now. My lawyer will be in touch about the apartment and division of assets. Don't try to contact me again. Wait, what lawyer? Claire, we can work this out without... But the message showed as undelivered. She'd already blocked him. He called the number, straight to a generic voicemail. He tried again, same thing. Panic clawed at his chest. Lawyer? Division of assets? She wasn't just leaving temporarily, she was building a legal wall between them. He grabbed his keys, Emma's house, Rachel's apartment, Claire's office. He'd check everywhere. She had to be somewhere. But 3 hours later, Derek sat in his car outside Rachel's building, defeated. Emma had threatened to call the police if he didn't leave her porch. Rachel hadn't even opened her door, just yelled through it that Claire wasn't there. The design studio was locked, Jennifer politely but firmly telling him she couldn't share information about former employees. Former employee.
Claire really had quit. His phone rang, a local number he didn't recognize. He answered desperately. Derek Morrison? Yes, who is this? My name is Catherine Walsh, and I'm an attorney representing Claire Morrison and her dissolution of marriage petition. The words hit like a freight train. Dissolution of marriage. Divorce. I'm calling as a courtesy to inform you that papers will be served to you tomorrow at your workplace. My client is requesting a clean separation with equitable division of shared assets. She's willing to be reasonable if you are. I want to talk to her. Let me talk to Claire. My client has made it clear she doesn't wish to have contact with you at this time. All communication should go through me. This is insane. We've been married for 6 years. She can't just... Mr. Morrison, I'd advise you to retain your own counsel. This can be amicable or difficult. That choice is yours. My client has documentation of your infidelity. She's not asking for punitive damages, just a fair split. I suggest you don't make this harder than it needs to be. Documentation? What documentation? Receipts from hotels, restaurant charges, cell phone records. My client is quite thorough when she needs to be. Derek's blood ran cold. How long had Claire been gathering evidence? Catherine, please, just let me talk to her one time. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. I'm sorry, Mr. Morrison. My instructions are clear. You'll be served tomorrow. I suggest you use that time to find representation. The line went dead. Derek sat in his car, the reality crushing down on him. Claire wasn't coming back. She wasn't hiding at a friend's house waiting for him to grovel. She'd hired a lawyer, quit her job, gathered evidence. This wasn't a spontaneous emotional reaction. This was a carefully executed plan. She'd known for 3 days, Emma said, but the documentation Catherine mentioned, hotels, restaurants, phone records, that took time to compile. How long had Claire actually known? Weeks? Months? If you're still here, thank you for sticking with this story. Leave a comment and let me know, do you think Derek deserves a second chance, or is Claire right to walk away? And don't forget to like this video.
Derek didn't go home that night. He couldn't face the apartment, the silence, the ghost of his marriage haunting every room. Instead, he checked into a hotel, ironically the same chain where he'd met Vanessa twice. The universe's cruel sense of humor wasn't lost on him. He sat on the edge of the generic hotel bed, scrolling through photos on his phone. Claire laughing at their wedding, Claire on a beach in Mexico, sun-kissed and radiant, Claire asleep on the couch with a book on her chest. When had he stopped looking at her like that? When had the woman he'd promised forever to become just furniture in his life? A text came through from Vanessa. Heard you didn't show up today. Everything okay? He stared at the message. Everything okay? His marriage was over. His wife had vanished. A process server would humiliate him at work tomorrow, and the woman asking if he was okay was the reason for all of it. Don't contact me again, he typed back. We're done. Her response was immediate. Derek, don't be rash. You're upset right now, but I said we're done, Vanessa. Delete my number. He blocked her before she could respond. It felt like closing a door that should have been locked 6 months ago. Sleep didn't come. Every time Derek closed his eyes, he saw Claire's handwriting on that note, the calmness of it, the finality. By dawn, he'd made a decision. If she wouldn't talk to him, he'd write to her, pour everything out on paper the way she had. He found a hotel notepad and started writing. Claire, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I don't deserve your time or your forgiveness, but I need you to understand something. I didn't stop loving you. I just stopped seeing you, and that's somehow worse, isn't it? He paused, pen hovering over paper. Was he really going to blame his blindness for his betrayal? He crumpled the page and started again. Claire, there's no excuse for what I did. None. I was selfish and cowardly, and I destroyed the best thing in my life because I took it for granted. You deserve so much better than what I gave you. You deserve to be cherished, not ignored.
You deserved a husband who saw you, really saw you, every single day. Better, more honest. I keep thinking about all the moments I missed. Your promotion, Rachel told me. I should have been the first to know. I should have taken you to dinner, celebrated you, been proud. Instead, I didn't even notice. How many other things did I miss? How many times did you try to share your life with me and I was too distracted, too selfish, too blind to pay attention? His hand was shaking now. I found your sketchbook. The designs are beautiful, Claire. You're so talented. How did I never tell you that? How did I let years go by without really looking at your work, asking about your dreams, caring about the things that made you light up? He kept writing, filling page after page. Every regret, every missed moment, every time he'd chosen convenience over connection. When he finally finished, the sun was up and he had 7 pages of cramped handwriting. The question was, would she even read it? Derek showered and dressed for work, the letter folded in his jacket pocket. He'd figure out how to get it to her, somehow. The office was already buzzing when he arrived. Marcus caught him at the elevator. Dude, where were you yesterday? Anderson's people were livid. Henderson had to smooth things over himself. Family emergency, Derek muttered. Must have been serious. Henderson's not happy, man. He's been looking for you. Great. On top of everything else, his job was now in jeopardy. Derek had barely sat down at his desk when his boss appeared in the doorway. Morrison, my office, now. Henderson's office had a view of the city, all glass and steel. Normally, Derek found it impressive. Today, it felt like a cage. You want to tell me what happened yesterday? Henderson asked, arms crossed.
You want to tell me what happened yesterday? Henderson asked, arms crossed. My wife left me. I found out she's filing for divorce. I wasn't in the right headspace for... I don't care about your marital problems, Derek. I care that you left this company hanging when we needed you most. The Anderson deal almost fell through. Do you understand that? Millions of dollars almost walked because you couldn't be bothered to show up. It won't happen again. You're right, it won't, because you're on probation. One more screw-up and you're done here. I don't care what personal drama you've got going on, you figure it out on your own time. Derek nodded stiffly. Understood. There's someone waiting to see you in the lobby, Henderson added. Security called up. Said it's personal. Derek's heart jumped. Claire? Had she changed her mind? He practically ran to the elevator, but when the doors opened to the lobby, it wasn't Claire standing there. It was a woman in a business suit holding a manila envelope. Derek Morrison? Yes. You've been served. She handed him the envelope and walked away. Derek stood there, aware of the receptionist watching, of colleagues passing by. He opened the envelope with numb fingers. Petition for dissolution of marriage. Claire Elizabeth Morrison versus Derek James Morrison. His eyes scanned the pages. Division of assets, spousal support waived, no children involved. A clean break, just like Catherine had said. But then he saw the address listed for Claire. It wasn't a friend's house, wasn't her sister's. It was an address in Riverside, an upscale area across town, an apartment complex he vaguely recognized. Someone cleared their throat. Derek looked up to see Vanessa standing a few feet away, her face pale. Derek, I'm so sorry, I just heard about... Not here, he said sharply. Not now. But she followed him to the parking garage anyway. Derek, please, let me explain about the earrings. I didn't mean to... Didn't mean to what? Destroy my marriage? Sleep with a married man? Which part didn't you mean, Vanessa? She flinched. You're not being fair. You pursued me too. You said your marriage was already over, that you and Claire were just going through the motions. I lied. His voice echoed off the concrete. I lied to you, and I lied to myself, and I lied to my wife. And now she's gone, and I have no one to blame but myself. Vanessa's eyes filled with tears. So that's it? I'm just the villain in your story now? No, you're just a mistake. We're both mistakes. But Claire is the only person in this mess who didn't deserve any of it. He got in his car and drove.
Not home, not to the hotel, to the address on the divorce papers. The Riverside Towers were exactly the kind of place Claire would choose. Modern, clean lines, lots of natural light. Derek stood in the parking lot staring up at the building. She was in there somewhere, behind one of those windows, living a life that didn't include him. He pulled out his phone and called Catherine Walsh. "Mr. Morrison, I assume you've received the papers." "I did. I need to see Claire, please. Just once. I have a letter I want to give her. I'll pass along the request, but I can't promise. I'm not signing anything until she reads this letter, face to face." A long pause. "That's not how this works, Mr. Morrison. You can't hold the divorce hostage." "I'm not holding anything hostage. I'm asking for 10 minutes with my wife. If she reads the letter and still wants the divorce, I'll sign immediately. No lawyers, no fighting over assets. I'll give her whatever she wants. Let me speak with my client. I'm outside her building right now." "Mr. Morrison, I'd strongly advise you not to." "I'm not leaving until she talks to me. Tell her that." He hung up and waited. 20 minutes passed, 30. Derek sat on a bench near the entrance, the letter clutched in his hands. Maybe she'd call security. Maybe she'd just ignore him until he gave up. Then the glass doors opened, and she walked out.
Claire looked different. She was wearing jeans and a soft sweater, her hair pulled back simply, no makeup. She looked younger somehow, but also tired. There were shadows under her eyes that made Derek's chest ache. "Hi," he said, standing up. "You can't be here, Derek." Her voice was steady but quiet. "I know. I wrote you something. I need you to read it." She looked at the crumpled hotel pages in his hand, then back at his face. "A letter isn't going to change anything." "I know, but please, just read it. Then I'll leave. I'll sign whatever you want. I just need you to hear this. Really hear it." Claire hesitated. For a moment, Derek saw something flicker in her eyes. Pain, maybe, or reluctance. But she took the letter. 10 minutes, she said. Then you leave and you don't come back here. Understand? Yes. She turned and walked back into the building. Derek stood there, watching her disappear into the elevator. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. Everything hung on those 7 pages, on whether his words could reach her in a way his actions never had. He sat back down on the bench and waited. Are you Team Derek or Team Claire? Drop a comment and let me know what you think should happen next. And if you're hooked on this story, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the conclusion. 45 minutes crawled by. Derek watched people come and go from the building. A young couple with grocery bags, an older man walking a small dog, a woman in scrubs heading to a night shift. Normal people living normal lives. He wondered if any of them had ever blown up their marriage through sheer stupidity. His phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. Come to apartment 412. Derek's pulse spiked. He stood, smoothed his jacket with trembling hands, and walked through the glass doors. The elevator ride felt eternal. 4th floor, down the hall, 412. He knocked softly. Claire opened the door. Her eyes were red, but her face was composed. She held his letter in one hand. Come in, she said. The apartment was smaller than their place, but filled with light. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the city. Her design books were already arranged on shelves. Her favorite throw blanket was draped over a chair. She'd been here longer than 3 days, Derek realized. This wasn't a hasty escape. This was a planned relocation. How long have you had this place? He asked quietly. 2 months, she said, setting the letter on the coffee table. I signed the lease the week after I found out about Vanessa. 2 months? But you said you found the earrings 3 days ago. I found text messages 2 months ago, Derek, on your phone while you were in the shower. I saw everything. Her voice was steady, but he could hear the tremor underneath. The earrings were just confirmation that nothing had changed, that you were still lying to my face every single day. Derek felt the ground shift beneath him.
2 months. She'd known 2 months and never said anything. Why didn't you confront me? Claire sat down on the couch, gesturing for him to take the chair across from her. Because I needed time to think clearly. Every marriage book, every therapist, every well-meaning friend says to fight for your relationship, to communicate, to work it out. But I realized something, Derek. You can't fix a problem with someone who doesn't see it as a problem. I see it now because you got caught, because I left. But for 2 months I watched you. I gave you so many chances to come clean. I asked you directly one night if there was anything you needed to tell me. Do you remember what you said? Derek's mind raced back. 2 months ago. Had she asked him something? You said everything was fine. You kissed me on the forehead and told me I worry too much. Then you texted her good night after I fell asleep. I saw that too. The shame was crushing. Claire, I'm so sorry.
I read your letter. She picked it up, holding it carefully like it might burn her. It's beautifully written, honest, full of regrets and realizations. But Derek, these are things you should have realized while we were together, not after I left. I know I should have. Let me finish. Her voice was gentle but firm. For years, I made myself smaller, quieter. I convinced myself that a good wife doesn't nag, doesn't demand attention, doesn't make her needs a burden. I watched you pull away and I blamed myself. Maybe I'm not interesting enough. Maybe I'm not sexy enough. Maybe if I just try harder, be better, need less. Tears were sliding down her cheeks now, but she didn't wipe them away. Then I found those texts and I realized it was never about me not being enough. You just stopped trying. You stopped seeing me as a person with dreams and feelings and a whole interior life. I became a convenience, someone to manage the house, someone to be there when you needed support, but not someone worth your effort or attention. That's not true. I love you. You love the idea of me, Claire said, echoing her text from yesterday. You love having a wife, someone who makes your life easier. But do you love me? Do you even know who I am anymore? Derek opened his mouth, then closed it. The truth was brutal. He didn't know. When had he last asked about her hopes, her fears, the things that kept her up at night? I got promoted to senior designer 4 months ago. Rachel told you, didn't she? He nodded miserably. I was so excited to tell you. I planned this whole thing. I was going to make your favorite dinner, surprise you with the news, but when you came home that night, you barely looked at me. You ate while scrolling your phone, then said you had to finish work emails. I sat across from you at our dining table and realized you wouldn't even notice if I disappeared. Claire, please. So I tested it. For a week, I didn't tell you anything about my day. Not one word. You never asked. Not once. That's when I knew our marriage was already over. The affair just made it official. Derek felt like he was drowning. It doesn't have to be over. I can change. I want to change. Your letter says... My letter says you wished you'd been different. That's not the same as being willing to do the work to actually change. She stood up, walking to the window. Do you know what the hardest part was? It wasn't finding out about Vanessa. It was realizing that you'd been emotionally absent for so long that the physical betrayal almost felt inevitable. That's not fair. Isn't it? She turned to face him. When's the last time you asked about my work, my friends, the things I care about? When's the last time we had a real conversation, Derek, not about bills or schedules, but about life, about us? He couldn't answer. The silence stretched between them like a canyon. I've been seeing a therapist, Claire said quietly, for the past 6 weeks. She asked me what I wanted from my marriage. I couldn't answer. I didn't even know anymore. All I knew was what I didn't want. I didn't want to keep shrinking myself to fit into your inattention. I didn't want to spend another year wondering why I wasn't enough.
I didn't want to raise children in a house where love was conditional and effort was one-sided. Children? Derek's voice cracked. You want kids? I wanted kids, with a partner who would be present for them, who would see them, but I couldn't bring a child into a marriage where I felt invisible. She wrapped her arms around herself. That's what you took from me, Derek. Not just trust, not just 6 years. You took my confidence, my sense of self-worth, my ability to believe that I deserved to be loved fully. I do love you fully. No. The word was soft, but absolute. You love me the way you love your favorite restaurant, convenient, reliable, always there when you want it. But you don't cherish me. You don't prioritize me. And I finally love myself enough to walk away from that.
Derek stood, desperate. What if I promise to be different? What if I go to therapy, work on myself, prove to you that I can be the husband you deserve? Then you should do those things for yourself, for your next relationship, but not for me. Claire's voice was sad but resolute. I need you to understand something. This isn't anger. I'm not leaving because I hate you. I'm leaving because staying would mean losing the last pieces of myself I've managed to hold on to. So that's it? 6 years and you're just done? I've been done for a while, Derek. I just finally got brave enough to leave. Derek felt tears burning in his eyes. Please, don't give up on us. I know I don't deserve another chance, but you're right. You don't deserve another chance. And more importantly, I deserve better than being someone's second choice, someone's afterthought, someone who has to beg for basic respect and attention. She walked to the door, opening it, a clear dismissal. I'll have my lawyer draw up a fair agreement. You'll get half of everything. I don't want your money or your guilt. I just want to be free. Derek walked to the door on legs that felt like lead. He paused in the doorway, looking at her one last time, really looking. She was beautiful, not in the way he'd taken for granted, but in her strength, her clarity, her refusal to settle. For what it's worth, he said, voice breaking, I finally see you, and you're remarkable. Claire's smile was sad. I know I am. I just wish you'd seen it when it mattered. The door closed softly behind him. Derek stood in the hallway, the finality of it crushing down. This was real. His marriage was over, not because of one mistake, but because of 1,000 small betrayals. Every ignored conversation, every missed moment, every time he chose his own comfort over his wife's heart. He took the elevator down, walked to his car, and sat in the driver's seat without starting the engine. His phone buzzed, a text from Catherine Walsh with meeting times to discuss asset division, another from Henderson about a project deadline. The world kept turning, indifferent to his devastation. But as Derek sat there in the fading light, he made a decision. Not to win Claire back, she'd been clear about that, but to become the kind of man who wouldn't make these mistakes again, to learn from the wreckage, to honor what he'd lost by becoming better. He pulled out his phone and searched for therapists in his area. It was too late to save his marriage, but maybe it wasn't too late to save himself. So, there you have it, the end of Derek and Claire's story. Sometimes love isn't enough when respect and effort are missing. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment letting me know what you think. Was Claire right to walk away? Could they have fixed things? I love hearing your perspectives. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.